Hello and welcome back to another Pricey HD video. Today we've got another Game of the Week episode, and this time it is an FA Cup fixture once more. This is Chelsea versus Manchester City. It is a very important fixture for both sides. Chelsea currently, well, in the Premier League, of course, not having the best of seasons, as mentioned so many times before, against Man City, who, well, are in the Capital One Cup final next weekend, remain in all competitions that they could possibly be in, I believe. They're still in the Champions League, yeah, I'm pretty sure they are. And, of course, have an opportunity to win the FA Cup as well. But they will have to be a very vastly improved Chelsea side under Gus Hiddink first. John Terry will miss the fixture, which is taking place on Sunday the 21st of February 2016, and kickoff is at 4 o'clock at Stamford Bridge. It is, of course, round 5 currently of the season. So, we're at a point now in the season where the FA Cup is getting towards the business end. After this one, we really are in towards the business end. Round 6, or in other words, the quarterfinals, will be, of course, one step away from Wembley, which is a momentous occasion if you can get to Wembley. In the FA Cup, you get to Wembley in the semi-finals, which is a bit weird, but it's because Wembley still need to pay off their massive debts. So, of course, having the FA Cup take place there allows them to get more money, because, of course, there is still massive debt from when they built the new Wembley. But it's, of course, an occasion that everyone wants to be at. And if both of these teams want to get one step closer to it. Chelsea have enjoyed unrivaled FA Cup success, of course. In 2007, they have won 7... No, what? 1 minute. That's a really weird stat. It says here, Chelsea have enjoyed unrivaled FA Cup success since 2007, winning 37 titles and 4 trophies. Of course, I understand that now, I just didn't read it right. So since 2007, they've won 4 FA Cups. That isn't right, is it? Surely that can't be right. No way. Am I just dreaming? Because Arsenal have won it twice in a row. That takes you all the way back to 2013. So that's really odd. 1 minute, I'm gonna have to search this. That stat, am I just reading it wrong or something? Of course, by the way, Lawrenson also predicts it will be 2-1 to Chelsea, which is an interesting prediction. Chelsea maybe due a win. It's of course probably going their way soon, because eventually they will win it probably. Right, so you've got Chelsea in 2009-10. And then Chelsea in 2008-9, Chelsea in 2011-12, and Chelsea in 2006-7. Wow, that is like just sort of flew by. That is like so weird. I didn't even realise that they won it in a lot of them years. It just feels like it's never really happened, to be honest. I don't know why, but I just can't really remember that in my memory. Anyway. Of course, I can remember the most recent one. This is their 3rd FA Cup meeting in 4 seasons. Manchester City won the previous 2, knocking out the holders Chelsea and in an enthralling 2013 semi-final. And then enjoy a convincing 2-0 home win in the 5th round, the same round, in 2014. Chelsea have only lost once in their last 17 meetings at Stamford Bridge, however. A 4-2 league defeat in February 2010 when they had Giuliano Belletti and Michael Ballack sent off. Wow, Michael Ballack and Giuliano Belletti were playing for Chelsea in 2010. But this is weird because to me 2010 feels literally like yesterday. Yet when you say the names Michael Ballack and Giuliano Belletti and associate them with Chelsea, that feels like so long ago that it doesn't feel... It's weird, isn't it, how some things can feel so long ago, yet be the same amount of time as something that feels like it was yesterday. Of course, Ballack enjoyed a bit of success at Chelsea, I suppose, to say the least. The Blues are in the 5th round for the 16th time in 18 seasons. Of course, Chelsea are pretty much one of the best FA Cup teams in England. Their only defeat in the last 29 FA Cup games at Stamford Bridge came after they surrendered a 2-0 lead against League One Bradford in last season's 4th round. Now everybody remembers that one, don't they? 3-2 to Bradford at Stamford Bridge. Wow, that was a brilliant game. What a great game that was. I believe as well in 2011-12 season, was it the FA Cup or the Capital One Cup where my team Birmingham actually played against Chelsea and we drew 1-1 at Stamford Bridge. I believe Nathan Redmond scored the equaliser. That was definitely in the 2011-12 season, but it could be the Capital One Cup, so I could be lying to you, by the way. 6 of their 7 FA Cup trophy wins have come in the last 19 years. They have won 5 FA Cup finals in the 21st century, which is the joint most with Arsenal, and Gus Hiddink has won all 5 of his FA Cup matches in charge of Chelsea. Manchester City have won the trophy for the 5th time when they beat Stoke in 2011, but were beaten by Wigan in the final in 2013. Wow, I remember watching that game, and then in something like the 86th minute, I was like, oh my god, I genuinely thought Man City was going to win this game, and it was such an occasion, such an event, and then in like the 86th minute or something, Ben Watson nods in the header, and I was crying. I was crying with joy for Wigan, because everyone, you gotta love Wigan, unless of course your rivals to Wigan. But they have not lost any away tie in the FA Cup for 6 years since a 3-1 5th round replay defeat by Stoke after extra time. They have won 3 and drew 3. City beat Premier League opposition away in each of the previous 2 rounds. 3-0 versus Norwich, and of course 4-0 versus Aston Villa. Of course, everyone beats Aston Villa these days. So, you've got a lineup here with Man City. They've beat 2 Premier League teams. They haven't faced an easy team as such, because Norwich and Villa, well, despite their positions in the table, Norwich has respectively fought hard this season. They've put a good fight up in the Premier League. Aston Villa, can't really say they've put a fight up, but of course, it's Villa. You never know when they're going to cause problems, you never know when they're going to get a bit lucky, and you never know when they're going to win, because they don't do it very often. So, I mean, so it comes, now and then it will happen though. So, Mark Lawrenson's prediction, as I said, is 2-1, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like they've got a prediction from Sam, because SAM, which is the something machine or something, basically the supercomputer that predicts it, and I do say it every week, but for some reason there isn't a bloody one on here. That is just so brilliant, isn't it? In the background, as you may have already noticed, we've got a very, 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 very interesting affair between me and Manchester City, who was played by my brother, and I was Chelsea, and we normally play the home teams, but again, because this was an FA Cup tie, much like last time Manchester United versus Derby, I seem to be on a bit of a roll on the FA Cup ties to taking my brother to the second leg. Not the second leg, to a replay, sorry. So in the end, although it wouldn't technically take place in this week, I wanted to give you guys an idea of who would win the game in the eventual outcome. So it takes you, of course, to the second week, and to the second game, which would be the replay, because we drew the first one, and then we'll see who wins from here. Of course, it will go to extra time and penalties if that is needed. It is 1-1 currently as well in both fixtures. The first fixture was 1-1 and this one is 1-1, as you can see. But what do I think is going to happen in this game in real life? Now, I've really put myself in for a very difficult lineup of games, haven't I? In fact, the last game of the week that I did, in fact, the one before that, because I did 2 last week, because it was so hard to choose between Man City and Spurs, I said, okay, the last game of the week I said Man City Spurs, and I said Man City or draw, and Spurs win, mainly because I sort of wanted Spurs to win, because I've sort of got a bit of a soft spot for them, but don't fire at me, Arsenal fans, don't fire at me, but come on, the one thing I can say is, at least I'll support the underdog. So that'll get you Arsenal fans happy out there. But either way, what happened in the game before that, which was Arsenal-Leicester, I said 1-1. I was so close to it, and then Danny Welbeck goes and nods in the header, and I was like, just watching, and I was just like, Was it a header? I can't even remember. Just Danny Welbeck scored. Danny Welbeck came on the 75th minute, and I was like, I bet he's such a jammy dick that he'll just go and score a goddamn equaliser. No, the winning goal, won't he now? Because I was just like predicting it, and it happened. It just had to happen, didn't it? It was literally written in the stars for Danny Welbeck on his returning game as a substitute to score, and quite possibly, not to end, but really dent Leicester's title hopes. But they're all still in for the run for it. But it's so weird how Leicester put in so much work, so much effort. It seems that they'll win so many games in a row, and then suddenly in one game, they're only 2 points in front now just because they lost once. Okay, they've lost 3 times all season, twice against Arsenal. So you can see that the competitors is where they're dropping the points. Which, of course, title-winning teams need to not drop points against the teams around them. And that's the problem with Leicester this year. They've only lost 3 games, to be fair to them. But like I said, 2 of them, the same team. Arsenal, the only team to get the double over them all year. And you can sort of see where maybe the weaknesses are in their team. But you can't really complain, can you? They've had such a brilliant season. And they've had such a brilliant year. And you've just got to look at them and just be proud of Leicester for what they are, to be honest. They've done so well that you can't criticise them whatsoever. But back to this game, being an FA Cup tie in the 5th round, what do I think is going to happen? Now this is a very, very difficult one, because you've got Chelsea who, well, they've picked up form under Gus Hiddink. I believe they lost the other day, but it was their first loss under Gus Hiddink. Or did they even lose the other day? I think they did. Can't remember. Oh man, you got Manchester City who aren't exactly doing the best that they could be doing in the Premier League, but they're all it's all still to play for in both the Premier League and in the Capital One Cup final. So they'll be thinking about that, because that happens next week against Liverpool. That'll be in the back of their minds. Ooh, this game. Sometimes I do wonder, is Pellegrini just going to think, we don't need this. We don't genuinely need this. I mean, it's not really the mentality to have, but genuinely, in a real life situation, will they be thinking, oh, let's relax this game, let's sort of set up for the next game in the Capital One Cup final? I don't know. I think it will be a bit of a weird one, to be honest, and whoever wins, wins, but I can't put a right down prediction, because it literally, to me, could go either way. Okay, I'll say a score. 2-1, but either way, because I just don't know. It's one of them games that, well, it literally can go either way, yet you are certain that it will go either way. I don't think it's going to go to a replay. I don't think it's going to go to a draw. And I think there'll be few goals in it as well. I think there'll be very few goals. Now I've said that, there'll be like 5-0 or something to Chelsea, won't it? But either way, I think that does bring this game of the week to an end. A very, very weird prediction. A bit of a complicated one, in fact. I really have had it in for myself this year, haven't I, in my game of the weeks. I haven't spot on predicted anything correctly, I don't think. But either way, I do that watching, and I will see you in the next video. Make sure you subscribe, and goodbye for now.